Hey guys, what is going on? We are ATX VGC. This is Monday Night Friendlies. I am Nibs Plays Games, and alongside me tonight for set number 3 of this evening is Amy Woke Flossie. How you doing, Amy?
Yeah, I'm doing great. This should be a good one.
Yeah,
we have
got
the battle
Sir
of the
Wilson.
Sirs.
The battle of the Sir. SirWilson 17 versus Sir_Zordor.
Yeah, SirWilson looks like he's bringing something we've seen from him from the past, few weeks. Been working with that Kyogre as his restricted. But Zordor opting for something that's also been very popular in that Zacian.
Yeah, Zordor using that very similar team to something that we've seen him competing very well with on our ladder tours, I will say. And I don't think that's given him enough credit, just saying that he's been playing very well. He's the only one in our Hall of Fame. He is a great player, has won all 4 of our restricted shiny ladder tours that we've had here in the last few weeks. And looks like he's going to be using the Rodon Wash, the Zapdos, Zacian. It looks like the dark type Urshifu, Metagross, and Dragapult, who is something that's a little bit underused here in Series 8, but pretty exciting to see Zordor using it here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make a prediction, so get your channel points ready. We see the Zapdos mirror, of course, but make your predictions on who's going to take this set. Is it going to be SirWilson or Sir Zordor?
That's right. And for SirWilson, we're going to see that Kyogre and another Zapdos as well, with Incineroar and also a mirror of the Metagross, Rillaboom, and the Whimsicott. Yeah, pretty cool. This is, we've seen both of these Zapdos, so we know that SirWilson likes to use that light screen on his Zapdos, and Sir Zordor likes to use that Roost on his, a little bit more of a slow Zapdos, if I recall correctly, and a modest one at that with the Life Orb, typically.
Yeah, and while we're waiting to see these Turn 0 Pokemon, if you guys are new here, go ahead and hit ! Discord in the chat and join our community. You can also hit ! Friendlies for a chance to play on Monday Night Friendlies. Sign-ups go live every Thursday morning. And then you can join us on stream and play some VGC with us.
Absolutely. Hit up that ! Friendlies, Tour, and what was that third one there? Discord, I guess?
The Tour, ! Tour. I want to get back to the game, though. We see a couple of fake outers leading on Will's side in that Rillaboom and that Incineroar. Of course, the Incineroar going to drop the attack stat of the Urshifu with that Intimidate, but Metagross's Clear Body keeps it at its neutral attack stat. I wonder if we'll see something like a fake out from one of them and an attack from the other. Both of the Incineroar and the Rillaboom, I think, are packing dark type moves that could hit this Metagross super effectively.
Yeah, something there to note about SirWilson's team there. We see the Assault Vest on that Rillaboom, and something that's kind of fallen off a little bit here in this Series 8 with the restricted format. Most Rillabooms we're seeing these days have only Grass-type attacks with that Fake Out and a Protect with something similar to like a Rose Incense. So we are going to see that Urshifu switch out there for Zordor, and it's going to be Zacian coming in, getting that attack boost with the Intrepid Sword ability. Also, we're going to see a max here straight off the bat in that Dusk Ball. Going to be the Metagross for Sir Zordor. Let's see what happens next for our players.
I like that move from Zordor, choosing to switch out the Urshifu, which had been intimidated, bringing your Zacian in with Will's Intimidator on the field already. Your Zacian isn't threatened the next turn of being intimidated unless this Incineroar does do something to switch out this turn, which we could see, I suppose.
Yeah, so a little fake out chip coming from SirWilson and his Rillaboom, going to be into that Zacian slot, who is not going to attack this turn either way, and actually going to go ahead and get that Zacian up to +2 with the Max Knuckle coming from the Metagross, targeting down that Incineroar. So doing quite a bit of damage to the Incineroar, and then Incineroar go ahead and uses the Flare Blitz into the Metagross, so gonna do a little bit of recoil for the Incineroar and proc that Citrus Berry for the Incin and get it back up into the yellow health, just under half, and do quite a bit of super effective damage into the Metagross as well.
Yeah, interesting though. We don't see a weakness policy on that Metagross, which is an item that Metagrosses tend to carry quite frequently. The other item I've seen it carry is an Assault Vest, so it's quite possible that this could be an AV Metagross. But now you have a Zacian on the field that's at +2 attack. It's going to be the fastest thing on the field. It's threatening super effective damage, probably, maybe, against this Incineroar, depending on its set. We could also see something like a substitute from the Zacian.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see a substitute coming up from the Zacian in this situation, as it's at +2 after the Interpreted Sword boost alongside that Max Knuckle on the switch in. So pretty good there from SirWilson getting the setup in turn 2, as we're going to see this Incineroar switch out for SirWilson, and it's going to be the Zapdos. We're going to see it shine here, as it is also going to be a Dynamax here from SirWilson, obviously going to be that Rillaboom. We might see something of a Max Quake or a Max Darkness going into this Metagross here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Max Quake, however, going into this +2 Zacian at this point.
It could be. I think that we see the Behemoth Blade comes out from the Zacian, the +2 Behemoth Blade. It's going to do a lot. Oh, yeah. It's just enough to KO.
Yeah, that's a very big Behemoth Blade coming out at +2 and getting that, double the base power when it's being used on a Dynamax Pokemon.
Yeah, now you can bring your Incineroar back in and Intimidate, get the Zacian back down to +1, which is still an incredibly strong Pokemon. But more importantly, you have access to Fake Out this turn, so you might Fake Out the Zacian, preventing it from using a move. I mean, I suppose it could Protect, but basically trying to stall out this Metagross. Mm-hmm. But remember, if it is Assault Vest, that Zapdos is probably not the way through it.
Yeah, the good thing about being able to pivot your Incineroar in and out here in these situations is that you can get the attack drops on the Zacian, but unfortunately with the Clear Body ability, you can't do that to the Metagross. So as much as this Metagross gets Max Knuckles off, it's going to keep that attack boost and become super dangerous and very, very scary for SirWilson the more it gets those Max Knuckles off. So Protect going to come here from Zordor on the Zacian slot. Thunder's going to go into that slot, so not doing anything here this time around from the Zapdos on SirWilson's side of the field. Quake is going to come out, however, from Zordor into the Incineroar slot, and super effective. We're going to see +1 Spadef boost here for Zordor's Pokemon, and the Incin is going to go down.
Yep, and all the while still getting that residual health recovery from that Rillaboom, from the terrain the Rillaboom set up. The Rillaboom is long gone. But remember that SirWilson does still have his restricted in the back. So we'll see what he can get done against these two steel types on the field.
Yeah, I do think Will was very smart in waiting to Dynamax his Pokemon here. But unfortunately, he wasn't really able to do anything with it. I think if he held off for maybe 1 or 2 more turns to kind of wait until Metagross is done doing its maximum damage output, it might have put him in a much better situation here in game number 1, as it is going to be a play rough coming from the Zacian. And
I haven't seen that move on Zacian in a while.
I like it a lot, personally.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I haven't actually... Oh, the Para. Interesting. I haven't actually used Zacian at all this format.
Yeah, so for future reference, physical fairy type attacks do so much damage, and we might see that later on in the rest of the stream. So it is going to be an Ice Punch coming out from the Metagross, going into the Zapdos, and unfortunately going to be enough to pick it off, as this Kyogre is going to get some chip healed back up from the grassy terrain. Looks like a little bit of a freeze. I hope that's not on my end.
Yeah, I see it too. But maybe after a refresh, we'll be right back into the action.
Every time something happens that it like kind of makes me think my internet may have disconnected, you'll see me like whip immediately over to look at my tower. So Origin Pulse
connects with both targets and is enough to KO both of them. Look at you go, Kyogre. Oh, it's not enough to KO Metagross. My bad.
Yeah, and we see Ebenezer talking about how that paralysis definitely mattered coming from the Zacian, and I 100% agree. That is why Will was able to pick up those KOs. But unfortunately for SirWilson, Zordor does have enough in him to get that game 1 victory. So what do you think there, Amy? What do you take from that first game?
Ooh, I think it's going to be tough for SirWilson to get through that Assault Vest Metagross. Like, I really just don't see... I mean, he has a Metagross of his own, so that's possible. And I think maybe, preserving the Incineroar, pivoting out a little bit more, taking advantage that you have... Oh, you have 2 fake out users, probably. I'm not sure if the Rillaboom has fake out. But really just controlling the offense boost of the attack boost of the Zacian, and also controlling that Metagross.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I do think, however, that Zordor has something very good for SirWilson. Looks like SirWilson doesn't really want to face off against something that has double electric, which is not very common, but it's just very hard for him to outweigh the strengths of Rotom Wash and the Zapdos. As we saw, Zordor didn't need the Rotom Wash in that game. I think SirWilson's biggest threat is actually the Metagross. I think the Metagross does more to his team than anything, but having that double electric option is just never fun to have to deal with.
Yeah, maybe SirWilson opted to bring the Whimsicott this time. Maybe, or maybe, yeah, some speed control for sure. The Tailwind and, of course, maybe an Airstream boost. We see that this Whimsicott also has access to Fake Tears, which is certainly good with the special attackers that you have on your team. Hello,
Ryan, in the chat. Yeah, so I do like the change of the lead for the Whimsicott Zapdos. I do think maybe SirWilson needs to get a little bit more aggressive with his Dynamax, and it looks like he actually is going to opt to do that here as we are going to see the Master Ball. Yeah,
turn one Dynamax.
1, straight out of the gates, we're going to see that Zapdos get the Dynamax here in that lovely Master Ball, not wasted on the shiny Zapdos, if you will. All right, and we're actually going to see a Dynamax come from Zordor again, and it is that Dusk Ball, so we're going to go ahead and assume that it's that Metagross. And it is going to be that Metagross. So another turn 1 Dynamax here from Zordor. We didn't see any switches come in and out this time, at least not that I noticed. Yeah, so we do see a Zapdos Mirror as well. Fake Tears coming out from the Whimsicott right away. So looking to do tons of damage. Going to be into that Zapdos as it has to be. Lightning is going to come out from SirWilson's as it does pick up the outspeed, and it is going to be more than enough to get that KO in turn 1 here, and Zapdos is going to go down for Zordor.
Yeah, but we might see something like a Max Hailstorm into one of these Pokemon, and I'm not sure which one, but it will, of course, take a Focus Sash Whimsicott out in 1 hit. But we do see it go into the Zapdos, not quite enough to take it out. It's going to leave it at about 40%.
Yeah, so pretty good there from SirWilson to get that Dynamax off. If that Zapdos for Will is not Dynamax, that is probably going to be enough to get the KO without any attack boost at all. So, and also, as you mentioned, it is going to break the Focus Sash there for the Whimsicott. So maybe even if that Max Hailstorm was targeted into the Whimsicott instead, we could potentially have Tailwind not even having a chance to go up, as it looks like SirWilson might not even opt for that anyway.
Yeah, it looks like he opted for a Max Guard here. I don't know. I think you might be able to attack with the Zapdos, especially probably trying to, avoid the Sucker Punch. But Whimsicott gets off the Moonblast, and even if this is a Focus Sash Urshifu, it is going to go down after this turn because of the hail.
Yeah, so pretty big hit there, bringing it down to the Focus Sash. Steel Spike is going to come out this time from that Metagross, not going into that Max Guard. So great job there by Zordor, not being baited by that Max Guard. And it is going to be the end of the game here for Whimsicott. But Zapdos for SirWilson is still around, and we should see this Urshifu go down here to Hailstorm Chip. as we are going to see that.
And now I hope that there's an Incineroar in the back for SirWilson, because I've got to think that Zacian is hitting the field.
Yeah, and this is a really good situation where SirWilson will probably want to just go for like a max airstream so he can outspeed, or I don't know that he has max flare. I didn't notice that just yet. He probably has double max guard because he probably has light screen. With the airstream plus the max lightning. Yeah, we see ATX VGC. No flare because of that light screen, which is that's a massive preference. And there's like differences in Zapdos players, and Will is just one of the Zapdos players that likes to run light screen. And
yeah,
Zordor
and mostly physical attackers on Zordor's team. It's just kind of an unfortunate like move slot that's been taken up, but probably really good in other matchups.
And the doggo is well trained, as we're going to see Pickley say in the chat. Heatwave feels necessary for Kartana.
I agree. I feel like Heatwave feels necessary for a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, so Lightning is actually going to come out from the Zapdos here, going into that Metagross, not doing a whole bunch of damage, as we did see that it is more than likely Assault Vest.
Yeah, the Quake's gonna boost the special defense even more, and it takes Incineroar down, down to its 23 HP, going to proc its berry, Citrus Berry, I believe we saw. So it's gonna recover a little bit of health here. But the important thing is, what did this Incineroar do?
Yeah, pretty close to half health there, and a Flare Blitz is going to come out from the Incin, but however, targeting down that Zacian is going to mean that nothing really happens in this turn from the Incineroar. I do still think that Will should have gone for something of like a max airstream to get that Incineroar to outspeed the Metagross next turn, or in this turn it would have been.
Yeah. I agree, especially because you didn't do that much damage. But I would preserve the Incineroar possibly here, because that Zacian is not able to switch out. Maybe you could mitigate its damage output, knowing that you have Origin Pulse on your Kyogre. You're relying on that over Water Spout.
Yeah, and Will playing very safely here with his Zapdos. He's just gonna opt for the Protect here. And the Behemoth Blade is going to go into that slot, as it's not going to do anything, and we're going to see an attack go into the Incineroar, and it's going to be enough to take it out. Yeah, so Will Zapdos here down to 39 HP, and he still has the Kyogre left in the back here at full health, but we know that he does not have the Water Spout, so HP doesn't mean much except for health, except for living. And we're going to see that drought come
and hitting.
And hitting, yeah. Water Spout is nice. I'm not sure what my preference is. I'm not much of a Kyogre user. I leave that to the bigs.
Yeah. And of course, we have seen Kyogres. Plenty of Kyogres running both moves. The Behemoth Blade going to be enough to take care of Zapdos this time. It's all on Kyogre's shoulders.
Yeah, let's see if that Origin Pulse is going to come out. It is going to come out, but Zacian getting the dodge. And it is at max health, too. So this is where Water Spout would have done tremendous damage to both Pokemon here. And with those max Quake boosts, it is... and it's actually Brick Break. I didn't notice that last turn. But Brick Break just doing some chip damage. And with those Quake boosts, as I was mentioning, that Metagross with AV, and I think it's +2 Spadef, taking that Origin Pulse, like, oh my, I don't even,
like
my descriptive words.
Yeah. See the play rough again from the Zacian, bringing Kyogre down to 15. Kyogre's going to miss the Metagross this time.
It's going to freak Will out and take him to his home screen, as Origin Pulse is going to come out and goes just under half health into the Zacian. Dodging is the Metagross, and Metagross with the Brick Break going to be enough to get the KO into SirWilson. So
we continue our streak of 2-0s.
Yeah, so pretty funny. ATX VGC, we just get our Game 3 emotes, actually designed by Amy Wokflossy herself. Those emotes are so cool. So yeah, guys, we have not seen a Game 3 yet tonight. So